weekend in college football. I'm pleased to welcome in our analyst, Greg McElroy. What's up, Greg? Spartans running back Kenneth Walker with nearly 200 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns in their comeback win over Michigan. After that performance, how much consideration does Walker deserve for the Heisman, do you think?
Well, Max, I mean, come on, man. He plays the wrong position. He's not a quarterback, right? And that's the only position that's really qualified to win the Heisman Trophy. Yeah, right. This guy's one of the best players in college football. Kenneth Walker proved it again this weekend. And if there's one thing that we've learned about the trophy, Max, it's not even so much about stats. It's not even so much about the gaudy statistics. It's about what you do in the highest profile games on your schedule. And you'd be hard-pressed to find a game that's going to have more viewership than what Michigan State and Michigan had this past weekend. And he had what we call a Heisman moment. He was sensational, single-handedly carried that team back after what was a difficult first half of football against an excellent football team. So I really like Kenneth Walker's candidacy, and he was kind of an afterthought going into this past weekend.
Oh, that's a great point. Who shines brightest on the biggest stage? And you could not shine any brighter in the stage, given he could not be any bigger at that moment. The first CFP rankings are released tomorrow night at 7 Eastern here on ESPN. Greg, who's your top 4 right now? Let's start with number 1.
Well, number 1, I'm going with Georgia, and it's fairly obvious. They're the most dominant and complete team in college football, both offensively and defensively. They've steamrolled every opponent. They've done so with a backup quarterback, Max. It's remarkable when you see what they've accomplished up to this point. No one's really played them close, and I don't know how many people will, at least in the regular season. At number 2, I value quality wins. So I'm putting Michigan State in at number 2. This is a team that just last week had what was one of the best wins of the college football season. They're also unblemished. 8-0, sitting there in prime position to control their own destiny to get back to the playoff for the first time since 2015. At number 3, I'm going with Cincinnati. Albeit a group of 5 team, albeit representing the American Athletic Conference, they have a win against Notre Dame, and Notre Dame continues to reel off impressive victories. With that feather in their cap, Cincinnati's resume rivals that of all the other teams that would be considered. And then at number 4, I have Oklahoma. I don't like having them at 4, but I have to have them at 4. They are undefeated. They do, however, not have a very impressive win, at least at this point. So I think Oklahoma, who I'd have at 4, is there kind of as a placeholder right now. The schedule strengthens drastically down the stretch, though, and I'd be highly surprised, Max, if Oklahoma's sitting there at 13-0 at the end of the regular season and conference championship weekend.
But meantime, whether people like it or not, Cincinnati is forcing their way onto everyone's list. Thank you, Greg. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.